Hey guys, if you're new here, my name is Haley. Today's video is going to be showing you guys the new coop we just finished building and taking you guys around and showing you a little bit more of our new setup I have for my horses and for the chickens and having everybody together in the Quonset finally. If you're new here, we are in West Central Minnesota. We have a small little hobby homestead, horses, chickens, a garden. My husband does farm organically and works full time. We have two kids, a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old. And currently we have 14 laying hens and 16 new babies. Well, they're about 5 weeks old now, but that will be joining in this coop. So this coop my dad built for us this weekend. We poured a concrete slab on Friday and he built it all from there. It was fairly cheap to build. I think we only spent about $300 in supplies and lumber and then the concrete slab as well. A lot of these supplies were found around the farm here. My kids are 6th generation on this farm on my husband's side, and it's decades and decades of a lot of useful equipment that people have saved that has been a great joy to see and experience, and also a big help as we kind of make this place our own. We've used a lot of the stuff we found around here. We've tore down a few of the buildings so far, but we've been here since 2021, and we're slowly getting there. We're slowly making everything our own. The reason for this coop build has been we had a rat problem. The coop that the chickens were in before, tonight will be their first night in their new coop. The coop before has been super helpful to us this last couple of years. It was constantly needing repairing, constantly needing some upkeep to keep it safe for the chickens and comfortable for the chickens. And the rats just finally took over and tore up all the insulation we have put in multiple times. And it's just got to a point where it's probably just not safe with all the diseases they carry, and they're just nuisances at this point. We think some of our chickens actually stopped going in there at night because we were having some chicken matrix stuff going on. They disappear and then come back during the day, and we just want it comfortable for everybody, and that was just not the setup for us anymore. So we knew this coop was coming, but this year was definitely, okay, we need to do this. This needs to happen now. I will take you guys around and show you what we got. I'll kind of explain where the materials came from, if they were repurposed, and the things that aren't quite in place yet, what the plan is for that. So let's go check it out. So behind me is our new coop. As you can see off to my side here, there's an extra piece of concrete off the side of the coop. The smallest amount of concrete we could order was more than enough for our project that we needed, because we needed a concrete truck to come in and deliver. So we got to pour an extra, like a whole double-sized slab for my husband. So that'll be a nice little workspace, as the rest of the Quonset, when we eventually get it cleaned out, because it's still full of stuff from everybody before us. Once we eventually get it cleaned out, this will be a good workspace for my husband. Eventually we would love to build a shop, but that's probably not going to happen this decade. So for the meantime, this Quonset will be his. It's good storage. Again, if you've not been here, if you've been here, I'm sorry, a lot of this is probably repeats, but I have a feeling this video might attract some new people, so I would like to give a little bit of context so it's not super confusing. The back quarter of this Quonset, I'd say maybe third, is penned off, and that is part of our horses pasture. So the end of this Quonset is horses, and then this side will be more animal stuff. I'll kind of explain that later, and the plans for that later. And then the coop. The middle of the coop is about the middle of the Quonset. So from here out is my husband's, and then the side behind you after the horses will all be storage and workshop and everything. But so we were really excited that we were able to do that for him, and I hope it's super helpful. We also got to pour a tiny little slab out in front of the walk-in door that is out there, which will be nice in the winter. This door is something that we found around here. There's so many doors laying around that came from old barns. My dad was able to make this work for our door, so I'm super excited about that. It's beautiful. And then this window actually came off of the screen-in porch on the old house that is also here on property. Not the house we live in, but his old grandfather's house. So this window is able to open and close. It's currently open, so there's nice breeze coming through with the screen on it. All the lumber that you see, well, not all of it, some of it we actually found around here. Some of it was left over from when we built our house a few years ago. The old tin is all repurposed, all stuff my husband found laying around here. So that was super helpful. Everywhere you see just tin, it is set in. So there's a nice little space there between the 2x4s. So when winter rolls around, what we will do for insulation is we will get the block insulation, just cut it perfect to size and fit it right in there. So hopefully that will be enough insulation. My dad had a great idea of not wanting to create pockets, so he didn't want to do a wall insulation and then another secure wall where there could be possible pockets that rodents could bed down in, since that was our big issue in the other coop. So for summer, it will just be straight tin, and then in the winter, when it starts getting cooler, we will get that insulation and pack it in there. And then probably when it starts getting warmer again, we might remove that insulation just so the chickens don't peck at it as much, cats don't scratch it up, you know, keep it a little safer. And we'll probably put it on top of the coop, tarp it, and save it for the next winter. I also asked my dad to make sure that the top of the coop was a place that I could put lightweight things that don't really have a good place to go. Like our chicken brooders are big totes. And when we're not using those, which we only use them for a couple months every 2 years when we get new chicks in, it's nice to have those totes to put in extra feeders and extra waterers. And then I figured that would be a great place to put that. Our secondary brooder is a 5x6 play yard made for kids. That's also really lightweight. So once I'm done using that, it's currently in use with our new laying hens. Once that's done being used, I will be able to pack that up and put that on top as well, instead of trying to store that in our house somewhere where it's already had chickens in it. And yes, so this is the front of our coop. And then I will take you guys inside and show you the rest. Right inside the door here is our roosting area. This is not secure, so we can easily take this out to clean the coop when we need to. And then these nesting boxes. We already had an outlet installed on the Quonset wall, so that's super handy because we have a light. It's actually on a timer, and the timer just went out, so I'll have to adjust that. I have to adjust it. There we go. There we are. But yes, and this extra outlet will come in handy when we need to have a heated water in here for winter. The concrete floor, we did put a couple stall mats down on top of the concrete floor, just for a little extra protection on the concrete, and a little, moisture protection for when we need to clean it out. It'll just make things a lot smoother. So there's a couple laying down on here on top of the concrete. And then our regular pine shavings. The food I will start keeping outside. We've always kept it inside in our other coop, but I think that really played a part in our rat issue. So I will keep it outside from now on, but I just have it in here today to help the girls learn that this is their new coop, because you can see their door is right there. So they're like, why can't we go in? It's getting late. So I'll have to lure them all in here somehow, but we have a run that we plan on setting up. It's just a 10 by 20 mesh run with a cover. We've always free ranged, but last year we had some issues with hawks. And it would just be nice to have the option of keeping them penned in without keeping them locked in the coop all day. Especially when we go to introduce our new chicks to these girls. It would be nice to have them be able to have access to outside without needing to be outside in the elements when they're still young. But this door, I wanted to make sure with that run we're going to have and having the food outside, and we'll also probably keep the water outside. We keep the water outside now just because it's easier. But this door takes us outside, and it's just big enough that we can duck to go out. And then it latches when you need it to. This goes outside, and my dad also added a secondary chicken door. This door is currently blocked open, but this will swing up, and we'll have to find a latch to be able to latch it up. But for now, they'll use this door. That way, it's not such a huge door open 24/7. Hey, girls, you need to come in, okay? It's almost time for bed. Come on in, girls. With the Quonset walls being curved, my dad had to find a way to offset the door so the door was straight. So on the outside it sticks up a bit on the top, but then you can see as it's framed inwards, it kind of goes into the coop a bit. Handy craftsman work. And this obviously is an old door from around here as well. So that's pretty neat. Hey girls. I think you guys are going to love it in here. I will eventually add a sand pit somewhere in here. I'm not sure where yet. For winter time, so they just have a nice area to do dust baths in. So we'll just get a big tote and put sand in it. We'll have to see where we end up being able to fit that in. But we can wait on that because they have plenty of dirt outside to do that in. The next thing that I did and I was super excited about was once we got the chickens set up, I was able to kind of claim this whole section of the Quonset all the way to my horse corral to myself. So this freezer right here is an old freezer that we had that broke down, but it actually makes a phenomenal grain bin. So we have a horse grain, our chicken feed, and all the stuff that we don't want the critters to get to in there. So if you have an old freezer laying around that doesn't work, you got a reason to keep it now, as long as you got all the animals. But garbage, extra tools, extra bedding. That coat rack actually came from the old house, but I use it for my halters. And that old box was actually like a show box for 4-H. And I cleaned that out today, and now I can keep all of my horse brushes and my fly spray and all the stuff that I hadn't typically kept out here because I didn't want it to get all dirty and dusty with the horses constantly kicking dirt around. So now I can keep that stuff out here. My chickens are in one spot, my horses are in one spot, all my horse stuff minus like my saddle and my actual tack that I want to really keep clean. All that's out here. Now all I need is a chair and maybe a mini fridge. I'm super excited. All my animals will be in one place. Next on the list is getting a few cats to hopefully help keep the rat problem under control. And I think I'm probably going to try to keep them here in this corner maybe. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll move the freezer down a little bit and give them a little extra space in that corner. I'll need to keep them in a kennel for a couple weeks, just so they kind of get used to this being their home. So I'll share that process with you and I'll let you know how it goes because I've never done it before. So we'll see. And then the spot where you're sitting right now and where I'm standing, probably out to about here, will eventually be a goat stall. I was gonna have my dad build a horse stall here when he built the coop, but I decided against a horse stall because it took up too much room and I really don't think I'll have a use for it. I'll eventually have a round pen and that is good enough. But I do want to get goats one day and I want a place to bring them in away from the horses if need be. So that's what this is gonna be, but also my idea of having all of this stuff here right now is to deter me from throwing up a quick goat stall, because those are much easier than horse stalls, and put off getting goats for the year because our life is very busy and I'm overwhelmed in so many departments that I just need to not add more to my plate. So hopefully I'll be excited enough about this space for a while that goats can wait till next year. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me today and checking out our new coop. I will throw all the clips that I was able to take of this whole process at the end of this video. It wasn't a whole lot. My husband and my dad did most of the work because I have a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old to chase. So I did what I could. I got what I could for footage. But yeah, so hope you enjoy it. Thanks, guys. Right, guys, today is the day. My dad is here. We have started, or he has started, kind of framing out the coop. But there's like a little change of plans. He was looking at the size of the coop and he's like, this is we're gonna have a lot more concrete to work with. We're getting a truck in. The minimum the truck will take in is about 3 square yards. We ordered 4. We can always change it down to 3, but that's the minimum that they'll do a delivery. I personally have nowhere else that I want concrete right now. We're eventually gonna build a shop, but in the meantime, the Quonset is gonna be Chris's workspace. So I was like, well, you know, we have to do some moving around. Thankfully, my sitter's coming in a little bit, so I can go out and help Dad move some stuff around, but we'll be able to get Chris a little concrete slab to work on part of the Quonset. We'll just extend the coop a little bit longer. So the coop will be here, and then, because I don't want a bigger coop than what we're already gonna have, because in the winter we want good insulation, so smaller numbers in the size. If we went any bigger, it would be too much space and it wouldn't keep well. I mean, 8 by 10 is plenty for a few dozen birds. But, so, kind of exciting that we have an excuse to give Chris extra workspace. We'll go outside soon. So, kind of an exciting change of plans. So once my sitter gets here, I'm gonna pop out there and we're gonna start moving some stuff around and see what else we can do. Dad's like, do you wanna just pour your stall now? I'm like, I don't want a concrete stall floor, I just want dirt floor. So I didn't have anything else that we really needed concrete for. So I called Chris and was like, we're gonna get you a workspace. So I'm pretty excited about that. I will try to get as much footage as I can today, but it's probably gonna be pretty spotty. I don't wanna get strangers in my videos. So I will have to, and I'll be working with Dad too, I'm sure. We'll see. I don't have a sitter all day long and the concrete's not coming till 3. So we'll see if Chris can get home a little early, to either watch the kids or help Dad move concrete since we're pouring such a bigger area this time. It's gonna be a lot, but we'll figure it out. Wish us luck.